Hey ho, and welcome to this first Let's Play series on this new channel. I'm usually doing Let's Plays and reviews on two separate German channels, and this channel is basically made for all kind of English content, including reviews, previews, and now also this Let's Play series. And of course, in future there might be additional Let's Plays and other content. And this one is a Geneforge 1 from Spiderweb. It's basically a remake from the Geneforge from 2001, which looked even worse, I would say. Looked like a game from the early 90s, but the games from Spiderweb is basically a one-man company. It's Jeff Vogel, and I mean, he's assisted by his wife, who's doing the bookkeeping and stuff. But the game is pretty much by him. He's buying the graphics and sound from externals, and this is also, probably one of the reasons. Also, he doesn't like music, but yeah, the game doesn't have any music, and this is why I will use additional music from Kevin MacLeod from Incompetech. That's royalty-free music, and I did put together a few tracks just to have something in the background. So this is what the game looks like. We are going to start from scratch, of course, and just so that you have an early impression about what the game looks like, we will go to the title screen now, and there you can also see that it's a demo version right now. So the context of that is that the game is going to be released at the 24th of February, and Spiderweb is taking part in this Steam Game Festival now, which is going from the 3rd of February to the 9th of February 2021. And during that time, all kind of developers are offering like demo versions of their game and so on. So I don't know if the game, whether the game will be available after this date, or whether the demo will be available after this date, but usually it also offers demos for the other games as well without such context. The release of the game will be the 24th of February. However, when you start the game, you will get a message saying that you can also take over your save games to the full version of the game. So there's no restarting or anything, and I hope that also the achievements are going to be taken over and activated then on the real version of the game, but I'm not 100% sure on that, so we'll see. So yeah, we will start with this again now, but first I will show you how some of the settings there are. I mean, it's not a lot. So we've got a couple of settings for animation speed and so on. If you when you start the game, you can also set up the resolution, and whether or not you want to play it in the window. The sound volume is maybe the most important thing. That's the standard setting, I think, was 6, and for me it was much too loud. But it's really not really fine-tuned, I would say. So you barely see the difference between, or hear the difference between the different values. And this is already the most silent version, the quietest version. If you put it to 0, you have no sound at all. The music, however, that's basically probably the only track in the game now. That one is not taking this change into consideration until you restart the game, so don't be surprised if you change it and nothing changes. You can also set the keyboard shortcuts. So the thing I changed now is quick save and quick load, which was to set at F2 and F4 or something. So I always set it to what I feel are the standard settings, F5 and F9. And of course, this also, I mean, this is version 1.0, but I guess there will be a patch or so at release or after release. But usually, I mean, I have encountered bugs already with just looking into the game, but very minor stuff. And usually Spiderweb games are extremely polished right at release, so you that's really one of the games where you don't need to wait for months and years until you have a version which is perfectly playable. So yeah, if you want to play the game, you can just probably just play it right from release without having any fears of getting stuck or whatever. So yeah, let's go through the options. We already saw that. We've got the instructions, which is kind of like a manual. I have read it all, but I would say there isn't anything which you won't also just learn during the game, probably. Besides of one thing, like the attributes, the action point system, but I will talk about that when we get to the combat. So yeah, we are playing the demo version now. We start a new game, and I plan to continue this Let's Play, basically do an episode every Tuesday and Thursday. So if you want to continue watch that, then feel free to subscribe, and of course I also welcome a thumbs up to this series, to this video. And we will start with this demo version and then continue with the release version once it's released. So now we set up a new game. We can choose between 3 different classes: the Shaper, Guardian and Agent. And yeah, the difference is that the Shaper is relying on summoned creatures, and this is basically the big selling point of the game, that you have like creatures running around with you, which you summon and customize. Then you've got so this character is basically like it fits most to the concept of the game. You've got the Guardian, which is more like melee based, and the character fights himself. And you got the Agent, and the Agent is better also in combat, also in magic, but isn't that good in summoning creatures. So we will take the Shaper and rename it, and that's it. And of course, for difficulty, we will choose Torment, the ultimate challenge for a brave Shaper. You will need to use every trick and fully utilize every ability to defeat the nasty enemies arrayed against you. Your foes have more abilities and health and do more damage. Your spells and abilities can damage your own characters. Your creations will be harder to control. Yeah, the creations can also break out. So, yeah, we will see about that later. So, Torment. It's saying you can change the game's difficulty later in settings, but of course then you won't get the achievements. So Torment, I always play the games on highest difficulty. So reading time. The Shapers are the oldest, most respected, most secretive and most powerful of the magical sects. They have the power to create life. The Shapers can make new life forms from nothing but organic matter and pure magic. They can mold this life to serve any purpose, be it lighthouse work or major warfare. The Shapers guard the secrets of their powers very closely. To learn the techniques without permission is to court a speedy death at the hands of a Guardian in the day or an Agent in the night. After years of work, study and testing, you have finally been accepted into the Shapers. It is the greatest of honors. You will spend your life advancing their will and learning their secrets. First, you must complete your apprenticeship. You must spend 5 years out in a Shaper colony on a remote island, watching their work and aiding in their research. The journey is 2 weeks long. You travel on a living craft, a specially modified drake that will sail you to your destination. After a week's journey, you pass close to a small island. Your chart identifies it as Susia Island. It is barred by the Shapers, forbidden for unknown reasons, dangerous accidents, valuable secrets. Visiting it is punishable by death. You watch Susia Island, wondering what secrets lie there. You thus fail to notice the warship off to the east. Your craft cries out in alarm, alerting you. The ship is of an unfamiliar style. It instantly fires a long spear at your craft. The razor-sharp bolt strikes your drake in the neck. It roars in anger and breathes a bolt of fire at your attacker. It strikes the enemy's sails and sets them ablaze. The battle takes only seconds. Your living craft founders mortally wounded, dropping you into the water. Your equipment sinks into the depths. You start to sink into the rough waves, but with one last effort, your living craft saves you. Bleeding, dying, it drags you toward Susia Island. You grab onto the crumbling dock, barely conscious. Your craft slumps against the stone, dying. You are left alone, abandoned, on a forbidden shore, marooned on Susia Island. If it's called Susia Island and not Sukia Island. Who knows? So, we are starting. We are basically just playing one character for the whole game, and the additional characters will be our summons. Here we got our dead ship. And yeah, welcome to Geneforge. These messages will pop up to help you learn to play the game. Your character is on the dock. Select a nearby space to move to it. Yeah. And that's quite a cool part of the game. You don't just have the visuals, but you also have lots of supporting texts. Maybe you played... the games where I feel reminded is the old Realms of Arcania games, which were all quite basic. I mean, the very first one, quite basic in graphics. But if you stumbled into a room in a dungeon or so, and there was something special, you got a text prompt, and it was telling you what you find in the room and what's looking like and so on. And the games from Spiderweb do that as well. So I mean, you have the graphics, you can already see kind of what's going on there, but the texts really give them the world a depth. And they're also very well written, so yeah, let's start. You stagger off the dock, weakened to the point of collapse, by your desperate swim here. After a few minutes, you manage to regain enough of your senses to look around. You are on the south coast of this mysterious island. However, apart from the fact that this isle was declared barred by your people, you know nothing about it. You wish you had already started your shaping training. Islands are generally barred because of failed experiment and the presence of horrible rogue creations. Worrying, fortunately, except for the lapping of the waves on the base of the dock, all is quiet. If you are going to be devoured, it won't be soon. However, you are still stranded and desperately weak as well. Fortunately, the beach stretches off to the east. Maybe you can find supplies and help. Okay, you can also click on record, and this is basically saved into your journal. Okay, there you have a container. And here we have the ground. So the looting in this game works that basically if you open something, you have the stuff you can loot on the bottom here. But you can also, I would show that here, you can also drop stuff on the ground, and now it will be here in the game world. You cannot click on it, but if you run on top of it and press I for inventory or G for ground, which is the same thing but two keys, and yeah, you can access the ground and then put it into your inventory. This one is crap though, and we don't need it. It's not even worth anything. So let's explore the island. Try moving the cursor to the edge of the screen. Notice how the view shifts. And this is how you look around. You can also change the view by selecting spots on the outer map. Like that. Which is not super elegant. Maybe if you want to travel a bigger distance. But what you can also do, and what is much better in my opinion than using the edges, especially if you have multi-screens, because the cursor is not locked to the screen. What you can also do is either use the cursor keys, not WSD, that's not working, but the cursor keys are working. You can press and hold the right mouse button, but the right mouse button is also used for moving. Or you can use the middle mouse button, which is the same way. You are currently walking east. In Geneforge, the upper right is north and the upper left is west. Hold down the tab key to remember. West, north, east, south. That was one of the benefits of the other engine from Queen's Wish, because that's like everything is even. crumbling docks getting items. There's an old ratty dock on the ground in front of you. It looks like it's been there for a while and it's not very clean. However, you're wet and cold enough to want it. You wear it. To wear it, you'll first have to pick it up. Press the get button, pictured above, or trap G, then select the cloak to get it. Yeah. As I mentioned before. Now we can take the item and equip it. And now we have tons of armor. Not really. Alright. There's a tunnel to the north, built onto the side of the hill. Your guess is that it's a storeroom or warehouse. Usually, one is placed near the docks of a settlement. The structure is crumbling. You would guess that it's been abandoned for at least a century, probably two. After all these years, most of the goods inside are probably useless. You still might be able to scavenge something useful. And it's time for some music. As I mentioned, Kevin McLeod and yeah, Incompetech. That's where the music is from. And I think it's quite fitting to the game. I can also recommend songs from Nox Arcana, but in any case, you would need to like make your own playlist because not everything is fitting. The path farther into the island is blocked by a thick stone door, marked with the symbol of the Shapers. When you get close, your skin tingles. Complex magical protections are in place. You hear a soft, reassuring voice. Susia Island has been barred by the Shapers. For more information, send a request to the council. Only full Shapers are allowed entry. No Shaper qualities have been detected in you. Please go. This is worrying. If you can't find find a way to pass this door, you might starve here. So let's explore this one open room here. Bones. And we have javelins. That's a throwing weapon we can also equip. Spoon. And there's nothing. And we've got doors and canisters. And there's a door below you to the left. Most doors open when you get close to them. Others are opened by pulling levers. Walk up to the door and when it opens, go through. Select the glowing canisters on the other side and you will get a pleasant surprise. There's an office to the west. The shelves on the wall have nothing on them but dust. The cabinet in the back corner, however, might contain something useful. Click on the box or case to search it. Be sure to search the cabinet. Inside this small chamber, you find several cylindrical containers. They look like canisters, each about 4 feet high. The sides are made of thick, carefully blown glass. Most of them have been broken and the contents are long lost. One of them, however, is still intact. Inside you see a glowing fluid. It swirls and moves about, seemingly under its own power. It looks like it is, in its own way, alive. It probably is. You have seen similar objects. The Shapers can store sensor concussions filled with life energy, which heal or energize those in need. This must be something like that. There is a sharp metal needle emerging from the top. If you let it poke the palm of your hand, the substance will emerge and energize you. In your weakened state, it seems hard to resist. Select a canister to use it. Open canister. When you open the canister, the agents inside begin to act upon you. You feel yourself changing. You are suddenly struck by a dizzy spell, driving you to your knees. It's not caused by hunger or fear, but by the effects of the strange substance in that canister. The essence-infused emerald goo didn't heal or revive you like you expected. It changed you. It's like it soaked into your skin and rewrote some of your very being, making you stronger. A strange urge, an instinct seizes you. You extend your fingers and focus. Tiny trails of flame shoot out of them. Magic. Actual magic. What would have taken years of training you learned to do in an instant. It is exhilarating and, at the same time, utterly alien. You had no idea that your people could do something so wonderful, and you feel a deep compulsion to find more of these canisters. The canisters are your main way to gain new abilities while on Susia Island. You can now cast Firebolt. Yeah. So these are glowing, but it doesn't seem like it's doing anything, even if both are glowing at the same time. Copper. And the box contains a variety of papers. You rifle through them eagerly, hoping for a clue as to where you are or what might have caused this island to be barred. It's no use. The papers crumble at your touch. Beneath the papers, though, you find something interesting. It's a brass key, none the worse for wear for its long concealment. You take it. So we found a key and there's something on the floor, which is just another cloak. It's not worth anything. So what I'm doing now is I'm pressing... you can switch between on the ground and the junk bag. And what I'm doing now is I'm pressing Control and then left clicking on the item. And with that it's going to the junk bag. I think you can't take it out anymore. Yeah. You can only remove items from your junk bag when you are in the city. You can sell everything in your junk bag when you sell to a merchant. Yeah. So that way you can just get rid of all the trash you find which you just want to sell, and you keep your inventory clean, and then you can sell all at once at the vendor, which is a super cool system which much more games should also use. So now we are a shaper. The path farther into the island is blocked by a thick stone door, marked with the symbol of the Shapers. When you get close, your skin tingles. Complex magic protections are in place. Yeah, there we had that before, but now it's saying, Shaper qualities have been detected within you. You may pass. Please do not remove or interact with any, and then the voice cuts out. Strange. Shades. So there's a twig, stick, and stone, and a healing pot. And I think I need to reduce the volume just a little bit. Maybe that. Yeah. And just 1 second. I'm reducing the music as well, just a bit. And yeah, here's nothing. Here these crumbling rocks, they always look like maybe you can destroy the wall, and maybe you can later on. This is a thing in other games from Spiderweb, so yeah, maybe you can do that. The door... oh, there is a shade standing in front of you. It is a hazy, insubstantial humanoid. It warps and twists in the light breeze. You suspect that strong wind would tear it apart. It hovers in the air, staring at you. Though you can't make out any features, you can clearly tell that it is watching you. Special encounters like this one gives you several actions or things to say to choose from. Select a response below, or type the number next to it. I have been shipwrecked on this island, can you help me? Why are you watching me? Attack the shade. I have been shipwrecked on this island, can you help me? The shade does not respond. It continues to watch you. An insect flies through it, slightly disturbing its misty surface. This is strange. Sometimes shades like this are ghosts. Other times they are spies or scouts, woven from essence by Shaper to explore, learn, return, and report. Are you a ghost? Were you alive once? Are you a creation? Did somebody send you to find me? Are you a ghost? The shade does not respond for a moment. Then it starts to move slowly toward you. Then it begins to break apart, as if the motion was too much for it. It dissolves rapidly in the warm sunlight. You are alone in the clearing. The door to the north is locked. The lever inside the guard post will open it, but only if you can find the key. Levers can be unlocked with the right key by having enough mechanics skill or by using enough living tools on them. Yeah, living tools are kind of lockpicks. And there's a sword, which is the same which we already have. And the sword is actually a dagger. Also worth nothing. Okay. A chest. Tunic, which is also not better than our ropes. And we've got a shield. That one we can use. We also have a maximum capacity, so can't take unlimited stuff. Healing pots. Yo. The door to the north. We could like use that. One of your keys unlocks the chains. You pull the lever. Now that you have made some progress, you should save the game. We just did. Saving the game creates a snapshot of your progress. Later you can load the save game and continue where you left off. To save the game, press the settings button and select save game or type Ctrl S. Save often, you never know when you might get killed. And with control, I think they sometimes mention control, sometimes mention command. So, yeah, well, it's control. Save off, you never know when you might get killed. You can type F3 to make a quick save and F4 to load the quick save slot. Finally, the game saves for you automatically whenever you enter a new area. If you die, you can always load the autosave game. Yeah, but that's probably not a great idea if you're playing on Insane. These were probably the barracks for some guardians or agents, and they were abandoned years ago. The beds have rotted away and there is trash everywhere. Whoever was here left very quickly. 2 chests were left behind. You pull the lever. It probably did something. And another tunic. Into the trash. And another dagger. And a couple new javelins. But besides of that, nothing. One helpful feature, when you press the tab key, you will see labels identifying each character in all directions. Try it now. Yeah, now we see a strange roamer. Once again, you find you're not alone. There's a roamer just ahead watching you. A roamer is a creation. It is a creature invented and improved by your people for use as a scout or an attack dog. Since it is a creation, it should be naturally inclined to obey you. However, this creature isn't servile to you at all. It doesn't look hostile, it's just staring. It is an eerie feeling being watched by a creation in this way. Creations have always obeyed you mindlessly before. It is clear that whatever this island is, shapers have been here. However, if this isle is full of rogue creations, you may have a serious problem. When you get close to the roamer, it sniffs at you. Then it gets nervous and runs away. Odd. I think it's just despawning then, or something. No, it's running out of a map then. Looking to the north, you can see that you are not alone on this island. Though you were worried about horrible mutant creations, the next creatures you encounter are nowhere near so terrifying. It is a flock of orcs. The orc is a shaper creation. It's a slow, clumsy livestock animal, hardy and laden with meat. Shapers created them to stock lands unfriendly to non-created animals, such as, apparently, this one. You notice that these orcs have large tusks, probably added by the shapers to protect them from predators. Fortunately, they are likely to leave you alone if you leave them alone. Yeah, and left the map. So here, that's basically the indication that we can leave this zone, but of course you want to explore the rest of the zone first. You immediately recognize this place. It was an inn where visitors and travelers could stop for steaks, drinks, and sleep. The crumbling, roasting pit still dominates the center of the room. You are getting confused. This island was once fully settled. Why? Most islands are barred because of experiments gone awry, and most such experiments are performed by very small labs in crude quarters safely far from society. Yet you've seen warehouses, guard posts, and now an inn. At one point, a lot of shapers lived here. Now they're all gone. Why? What could have driven so many of your people off, and what took their place? And we've got another lever. Okay. Healing pots. This gourd contains a specially formulated and mildly enchanted shaper-made goo. Eating it has some beneficial effect. Fortunately, it helps keeps for a long time. Pots help only you. Use spores to keep your entire spores to help your entire group. Healing 20 to 60. Oh. And new ropes, but I mean, if they look the same, they are the same basically. But we have also a belt now. Okay, improvement. Ah yeah, something about how armor works in this game. So the armor is not additive, but multiplicative. I hope that's the right word in English. So let's say you have two items with 50% armor. That's not adding up to 100%, but it's adding up to 75% because it's not adding, but it's multiplied with each other. So each item basically, if the damage comes in, the first item reduces by 50%, the second, then it's 50, right, of 100 damage, and the next item reduces by another 50% and it's reduced to 25 and so on. Yeah. There's another vase can. This is a precious stone. The servants in this island value them and will gladly buy them from you. Value 30. Right into the trash. Brrr. Not a lot going on here, but there's another room. So what I did before already is I did this zone once, and the next zone I looked into, and that's pretty much it so far. I also did not play the original Geneforge. I only looked into the 5th one for, I don't know, 20 hours or so. But yeah, I mean, I started with, for Spiderweb games, I started with the either Averdon one or Avernum one, Escape from the Pit, which already was using like this type of engine. They all look like this basically, the same graphics, a couple different tiles. The interface was improved a bit now. But Geneforge, the graphics were really rough, and the previous ones before Geneforge, 5 was the last. I think there are 5. 5 was the last one. They are even worse. So yeah, so I did not play the original ones, and the sounds were even worse. So yeah. Golds. I think this one is a nice, like, I mean, the graphics are not awesome by any regards, but it's good enough basically to transport the game, and it doesn't, well, the sound effects, they do sound a bit cheap, but it's not cheap, so it's quite an improvement over the original one, I would say. To open this door, you need to unlock the lever. If your mechanics skill is 2 or higher, just select it to open it. Otherwise, you need to bring a living tool here. Use it and then select the lever. Pull lever. The lever is locked in this position and you don't have enough living tools to move it. You need 3. But we can go into our character and we can also have a look at what we can do here. So, I mean, we have the health, essence, energy. We will come to that later anyways. Then we have like combat skills, strength, agility, intellect. I mean, it's pretty clearly communicating what each skill is doing, like increase damage by 5% and so on. Essence mastery, increase the amount of essence you gain per points. Yeah. Right now we are still on level 1, so we can't do anything. But I think as soon as we get close to the exit, we get a level up. At least I think that was what happened before the last time. Yeah. You have reached the end of this area, the first of almost 80 in Geneforge 1 Mutagen and 6 in the demo. When you are ready to move on, step on to the area shaded blue. You will then be on the world map. To travel to a new region, select it and then select travel. To make things easier, the next section will be automatically selected for you. You are already regaining your strength and feeling more confident. In the next section, you will learn about spells and combat. Good luck, your adventures are just beginning. So now we've got a level up. And we will revisit the lever. Yeah, the walking animations are not the greatest either, but yeah. Zip. And now we can increase our mechanics skill. That's something I always increase first in games, like mechanics, or lockpicking or whatever it's called, so that we don't need to backtrack for everything. The lever is locked in this position and you don't have enough living tools. So instead of 3, we only need 1 now. But if we increase that further to 2, now we can unlock it, get 20 XP. And we got crystals. This crystal contains a single powerful magical charge. When thrown at an enemy, it will turn into a dangerous and damaging bolt of energy. And this is trash. And more thorns. Shapers grow these thorns in specially bred bushes. They are loaded into batons and fired at enemies. If you try to fire an unloaded baton, you will automatically reload it with thorns in your inventory. They have a value of 20. So I'm not so sure if you really want to use them. Maybe they are super powerful, I don't know. But for that money, I mean, I don't know if 20 coins are really a lot, but if you don't have anything, 20 is a lot. So, game saved. Leave the region. Yes. The map is actually looking quite nice. I mean, it's just a background picture basically, so, but still. The Isle of Sushia. Or Sukia. Or something like that. You won't be able to travel to all locations until you purchase Geneforge. All locations you have learned about are displayed on the map. Drag the map to see all of it. Select the region to travel to. Abandoned Vale. And I think you can also sometimes double click or something and select the direction you come in. You can also see there's a town, there's also a town, there's some fire. A big cave. There's another cave. Okay. No snowy area, no lava area, but who knows. Travel. Now entering Abandoned Vale. There's a huge stone hall just ahead. It is still intact, and soft lights glow inside. Your skin tingles. There's more Shaper magic inside. Walking on dry land is refreshing. The strange essence canister continues to work. Changes in you. Your strength is slowly returning. Defeating foes and finishing quests give you experience. When you get enough experience, you gain a level. You have gained a new level, and you can now train your character. This will help you to survive in the battles ahead. Press the train button to begin training. I don't even know where the train button is, but yeah, you can just right click on your character or right click on the portrait and you will get there. There's another container with some leather. It has some value and you probably can just sell it, but I remember from other games there was some lizard skin or something and you needed to collect that for a quest. An animal used to use this to keep its insides from falling out. Yeah, that's kind of the humor of the game. And I like it personally. You immediately recognize this large building for what it was, a shaping hall. There had to be one of them on this island somewhere. Here, the shapers on this island used magic and force of will to make creations for both utility and battle. Amazingly, this building is mostly intact. Shapers build things to last. You can see energizing pools in the side chambers. Holes in the ceiling allow light to shine in on them, keeping them alive. The goo inside each pool is a semi-living essence-charged algae, capable of drawing energy from the air and the sun. If you stand near a pool, you will be able to replenish your health or essence, depending on which pool you select. In the corners of the hall, you can see two glowing glass canisters. The essence mixture churns and glows within, ready to give you power. Give me the power! Heal. The canister to the west hall grants the ability to form your first creation. To learn more about creations, read the book in the northwest corner. But first, you will use that one. This canister can shape you and improve this ability. Create Fiora. Enables you to create a Fiora or a Criora if your fire shaping is high enough. Each extra point of this skill increases the level of these creations. Do you use it? Yes! When you touch the needle at the top of the canister, the agents inside begin to act upon you. You feel yourself changing. And our Create Fiora skill increased by 1. Or something like that. Your journal. Making creations. To survive on Tsushia Island, you will probably need to make creations to fight for you, especially if you are playing a shaper. When you use the canisters in the first shaping hall, you will learn to create a Fiora, a small fire-breathing lizard. And to make a Fiora, you will need at least 1 level of fire shaping skill. Happily, you start with this. Each creation has a minimum shaping skill needed to make it. You make a creation, press the plus button in your roster. You will then spend some of your essence to make your servant and improve its skills. The more essence you spend on one Fiora's skills, the less you will have left to create more of them. You can create up to 7 servants. When you spend essence to make a creation, you can't get it back until the creation dies or you reabsorb it. Heals the damage taken by a single character. Each extra point of the skill increases the amount. Heal by 1. When you touch the needle at the top of the canister, the agents inside begin to act upon you. You feel yourself changing. And we can put our abilities in there. So, the difference here is that firebolts, they cost 2 energy. We have 3 bars. We have health, energy, and essence. Well, health is, I mean, it's very well written here. How much damage you can take before you die. Stand by a healing pool or return to a friendly town to restore your health. Increase your endurance to get more health. And Yeah, health is very important. Most deaths are caused by running out of it. Good to know. Then we've got the blue thing, which is energy. And energy is used for casting spells. But yeah, casting spells also can use, so this one is only using energy. But this one is also using essence. Essence can be... so I think mana is easily replenished. Essence cannot be replenished unless you go to one of these things or into a friendly town or something. Let's go to that one first. Okay, there's the instructions for that. Essence is represented by the green bar to the right of your main character's graphic in the roster. You use essence to make creations and cast the more powerful spells like healing. When you spend essence or to cast spells, you get it back by returning to town or by approaching an essence pool like the one nearby. However, making creations reduces the maximum amount of essence you can have. If you have a total of 30 essence, for example, and you make a Fiora which costs 10 essence, then your new maximum is 20. You can't get the other 10 back until the Fiora dies or you absorb it. It is up to you whether to make a lot of weak creations, a few strong creations, save your essence for spells, or a mix of the three. Geneforge makes all of these options viable. Yeah. And I think there was... Oh, and we gained experience from reading that. And we also can manually access that by clicking on the journal. Yeah, keys are not stored in the inventory. They're going here into your special items in the journal. This key was in a desk in a ruined storeroom, not far from where you arrived in Tsushia Island. Current quests and codex. Making creations. Secrets of Essence. Essence is represented by the green bar to the right. Okay. Fiora. The Fiora is one of the first creations novice shapers learn to make. They are easy to shape, easy to control, and effective defenders. Because they are so simple and foolproof, outsiders often assume that the original design was easy to make. It was not. Creating the Fiora took decades of careful work. Thousands of generations of salamanders were warped, always taking care to maintain reliability and simplicity. They are far from the most powerful creation, but there is a lot to be said for ease of use. And our current quest, Escape Tsushia Island. Now that's probably our main Hauptquest, yeah, our main quest. So you have been stranded on Tsushia Island, and an island barred by your people. It is forbidden for visitors to come here, so you are required to leave as soon as you can. Most likely, the only way you can escape this place is to find a boat. There are several docks on this island, but you will have to find a path to them. Yeah. And... soon we will create some creatures and have the first fight, but first we will go and explore a bit. You find a sign that the evacuation of this island was not completely orderly. There is a body here. It's barely more than a skeleton. It's been here for a long time. Based on its garments, you think it was a shaper. Most of the body's clothes and equipment have rotted away, but a few items are still intact. Search the body or anything else, select it. And now we have got a sword, but we can't use it. No melee skill, but we are not intending to use melee combat anyways. So, healing spores. This gourd contains specially formulated and mildly enchanted shaper-made spores. Using this powder has a beneficial effect on you and all of your nearby creations. If you only want to help yourself, use pots, not spores. By the way, we can also enable a combat lock. Pressing T brings that up. I'm not sure if you can actually... I'm not sure if you have actually any other way to have this show up. So, press T or the key you defined for that. Are these two separate paths or? Oh. As you walk down this path, you feel on edge. Your Shaper training has left you attuned to sensing certain sorts of magic. Hostile creations lurk ahead. It might be a good idea to make your own creation to aid you. Press the plus button in the roster to begin. Roster. Yeah, there. Soon you will have to fight your first battles. There are several rogue Fioras ahead. The best tactic to defeat them depends on what sort of character you picked. So, in order to use the healing spell, we need 2 essence. So it might be a good idea to save some, or we just ignore it and yeah. And don't heal and just do so much damage that nothing has time to attack us. Select the sort of creation you want to make, then press the OK button. Each creation uses up some of your essence. You can then buy upgrades for your Fiora, like higher stats and new abilities. These increase its essence cost. When you are ready to make it, press OK button again. So these are all our different options, and we can see that we have 2 of each type. For the next one, we would need a shaping skill of 3. Your fire shaping skill is 1. So we would need to increase that, which we could do, but we will not do yet. A Fiora is a small, fierce lizard creature. It has sharp teeth and large glands in its throat. Give it the ability to spit globules of flaming saliva. Fioras have an excellent mix of melee and missile ability. Yeah, and we are creating a Fiora because that's the only thing we can do. And now we get all the information about our dude here. Except of damage, I don't see any damage here. So these are, like, this is our stats, and this one is the enemy, the creature's stats, and our control level, which is, yeah, bad. And we can select a symbol, and this one will be just damage stuff. We have passive stats. So just creating this thing costs 6 points, right? Yeah, essence cost of 6. So what we could do is we could just create one with, like, so that we see, like, the value of the different stuff. Just create one for 6, and we have 30, I think, and not 24 then. Yeah, and then current essence. No, because now we haven't. If I select that one, I think that's already deducted from that, so I have 24. So we can, yeah, let's just create this, like, extremely basic creature. Yeah, 24 was our max essence. And now we will create another one. And with that one, we will increase the level a bit. So, like this. And we take all of these. And then we have 2 essence left. And this one has just, like, strength upgrade, increases melee damage by 5% per point. Magical skill, I think that's ranged attack. So maybe we don't use that one. Save 2 points. So everything costs 2 points. But we take, like, the ranged attack and the, well, I mean, hit points we don't need to test, because we can see directly that it's increasing hit points from 42 to 68. So, I mean, that we don't need. The overload, I tested that one before, and this is basically an active ability which kills your creature. I mean, it does more damage for a short while, but it's probably not the best choice. Cone of Fire belches a cloud of fire, damaging all foes in a cone-shaped area. Cone attack. Yeah. And we have Haste. Acts faster, has a chance of using fewer action points. Yeah, Cone of Fire. So let's save them. Well, we have... Well, it's just because that one is also increasing the level, so let's just use that. So second creature, we still have something left for healing. Since you're playing a Shaper, the rest I wasn't able to read. If you get wounded or your Fiora dies, you can rejuvenate yourself using the pools in the Shaping Hall to the west. How to fight. You may be about to enter a battle. During combat, you and your foes will take turns moving and attacking. You can leave combat when your foes are distant or dead. To attack a foe, select the space it is standing in. To use one of your abilities against an enemy, press the use ability option. There's a Fiora standing on the path ahead. It's a very common model of a creation. Shapers have made them for centuries to serve as bodyguards, watchdogs, and even pets. This one, however, doesn't have the usual expression of servility and obedience. It doesn't look at you with fear or respect. Instead, it is drooling, as if it sees you as food. You have heard tales of creations which have turned on their creators, have gone rogue. But it only rarely happens. When it does, the rogue is instantly destroyed. This Fiora has spent years free of Shaper control. It bares its teeth at you, daring you to step forward. And now I'm going to quick save, and first I will approach it and we will do a combat, and then I will show you some other option. The Fiora continues to block your path. You can see shadows moving in the ruined building ahead. It is not the only creation lurking here. The creation stares at you with confused look on its face. It bares its teeth, but it isn't fully rogue. You might be able to exercise some control over it. Hello Fiora, who's your master? The Fiora tilts its head to the side, confused. They don't actually talk. Shapers usually direct simple creations like this design by magically extending their will. Control the creation and calm it down. You concentrate and extend your will, attempting to pacify the confused beast. For a moment, you think you're doing it, and then the beast shudders and snarls. Your attempt at control are shaken off. The beast hisses and lurches toward you. Your leadership was not high enough. If you want to control creations later on, increase it. Yeah, and that's what I will show you afterwards. So that's the combat. I think in the settings we could set that we want to see all the grid. Full combat grid, draw. Now we can see everything, which might be better. So every character has 8 action points. An attack takes 9 action points, but can be used as long as you have an action point left. You can, in the other games at least, there were items which gave you, or spells which gave you additional action points. So in theory, if you have a ranged weapon, or if you're in melee and standing next to an enemy, if you have 10 action points, you could hit exactly 2 times. The first time will take 9, and then you have 1 left, and with the 1 action point you can attack a second time. The other thing which can happen, and maybe that will happen now. I think it happened with that guy. To use an ability or item, press this button or type A. Abilities like Bolt of Fire can help you to survive battles. But I don't want to. We can switch our weapons. Let's just throw some crap. 11. Ah, didn't happen. Okay, that. What can happen is that because of we have like this leveled creature that has a chance that the attack cost is reduced, I think, to 5, and with that there would be some remaining, and then the creature could attack twice. So I will load that now. Now we will go on to the character and increase our leadership skill. And leadership increases the number of options in conversation, helps you to convince characters to aid you. Each point increases your creation's mental resistance by 2%. And for now, I guess they always... No, the costs also increase. So let's just increase it to 2, where it's still rather cheap. Yeah, and now, hello Fiora. Control the creation and calm it down. You concentrate and extend your will, attempting to pacify the confused beast. The beast shudders and snarls, but it can't shake your control. You stare the fiery beast in the eyes. It looks down at the ground, demoralized. The sense of calm spreads through the ruins, touching the other creations. And it's also a very fitting choice of music now. I mean, it's a playlist, and it was a coincidence, but yeah. Your leadership skill was high enough to calm the creations. You get experience for this, but you won't get experience if you return and kill the pacified creations later. And I think that's a very cool concept. That basically, now instead of killing them and getting the kill XP, we just got all the XP up front. I mean, we can't loot them, obviously, but I don't know if they would have had any loot. But yeah, we gained the experience right away, and we also cannot exploit the system by revisiting the zone and then killing them later on, which is, I think, also a good thing. I really like it if the the game mechanics fit together with the like the story of the game, the setting. No, little creature talking, you don't get a response. Okay. Ropes and sandals. We've got sandals with additional armor. Nothing here. Nothing here. But yeah, there's a second route. Trash. During calmer moments, you sometimes pause to reflect on Tsushia Island's dire need for an effective recycling program. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, and this is how far I played before as well. But I forgot something there. Well, not forgot, but we need to get back to that. Yeah, it's really sad that the game doesn't have its own music, but well. Okay, this was... The road comes to a dead end here. A thick wall of trees and undergrowth has completely overgrown it. Okay. And I also hope that I won't get problems with the... Well, I guess for this channel it doesn't matter anyways, because no monetization. But the... Like, I remember in Thinking Queen's Wish, they were using some licensed music, which means that the video is automatically monetized via YouTube, and they get all the revenue. Not Spiderweb, but the people who made the song, which yeah. So I'm not sure. I don't know if that's the case here. I tried uploading a video before, but I didn't get any message, so I guess it's not the case. But I mean, it might just appear in a couple of days or so. I mean, it's nothing you need to bother about, but still. This was a storage warehouse. Well, it still is, but now instead of housing useful supplies, it holds old trash and rotten sacks. On the counter to the west, something useful remains. There are several thorn batons. Most are dried up and dead, but one looks like it's still alive. Thorn batons are one of the Shaper's most ingenious creations. They are a mix of living and inert matter, plants mixed with a touch of animal, grown in a metal frame, capable of firing a long, sharp thorn at high velocity. When unused, they go into hibernation and can live for a long time. Most of the batons abandoned in this room have died, but one managed to survive. A thorn baton is a type of weapon. When you equip it and attack a foe, you will shoot a thorn at it. The baton contains 6 shots. If you fire it when empty, it will automatically be reloaded with any thorns in your inventory. Door closed. Thorn baton. Spits out specially grown thorns. Can only be loaded with thorns of the same type. And apparently there's like 6 in them. Charges 6. Yeah. And these are for sale. Broken baton. Yeah. That's it. What was that? Useful combat tip. To end a character's turn early, select space it is standing in or press the space bar. Yeah, it's also something interesting. You can also press F at any point or click on this icon here. And with that you can like go into position and whatnot and really start the combat the way you want in the right positions and so on. Oh, is the creature... Did the creature run into there? Seems like... But there's another building. Maybe we got a combat there. Some statues. Aha. You enter the ruin of a quarantine hall. It is not entirely abandoned. You see another feral creation in the far corner. A thin, mangy thud is leaning against a pillar, barely recognizing its surroundings. The bones of its prey litter the floor around it. A pathetic creature, but dangerous. If you keep your distance, you might be able to slip around it. Some encounters can be evaded with stealth. Foes only notice you if you get close enough. A question mark warning will appear when you are close to being noticed. Raise your stealth skill to reduce the distance when they can detect you. But I don't think you will get experience when you stealth around them. So in that case, we will just kill it. Kill it with fire! Let's see when it's the enemy's turn. We don't see it at all. Okay. Let's start the combat with this character. Okay. Dagger. And melee attack. 5. This is the stronger one. 13. A riposte, okay. And dead. 20 XP, 8 coins. And combat. Our first fight. Our first battle. Okay, thorns. Shoes. They're probably better than our sandals. Even though that doesn't really look like sandals. But yeah. And that's junk. Notes on combat. Each round your character gets a base of 8 action points. If you have any action points left, you can do any action. Doing things consumes action points, and when you are out, your turn ends. Moving and doing actions uses them up. Moving on space costs 1 point, using an item costs 5 action points, and attacking or using an ability costs 9. When you are next to a foe, you can only move 1 space for the rest of your turn. To end your turn early, select the space your character is in or press the spacebar. The order in which characters act in combat is determined by their speed. The more agility and quick action skills a character has, the faster it will act. Armor and weapons are heavy. Heavy equipment reduces your number of action points. Increase your strength to increase what you can equip without penalty. Okay. What's that? Looks like a cat. This was the quarantine waiting hall. People wishing to enter or leave Susia Island through this port waited here to be questioned and inspected by the servant mind. And sure enough, the mind is still here, resting to the north. You marvel at the skill of the shapers who shaped these remarkable creatures. They were given remarkable lifespans. The thing is still alive. A servant mind is a very specialized and useful sort of creature. Once grown, it never moves again. It spends its life in a stone crypt made to fit it. Once there, it spends its entire life thinking, remembering, analyzing, and advising the shapers. As you approach, you can see the creature struggle to rouse itself from its slumber. It seems likely that it's eager for company after its years here. To converse with the servant mind or anyone else, select it. Okay, that doesn't look like a cat. You carefully approach the servant mind, unsure how its long solitude has affected its brain. Fortunately, its eyes are clear and bright, and its body appears whole. It has the massive, lumpy skull characteristic of these strange creations. "Welcome, Shaper. I am Mind Tavit," it says, reflexively reading from an internal script centuries old. "Do you wish to pass through quarantine?" "What do I have to do to pass through quarantine?" "Allow me to inspect you carefully. If I judge that you have no threatening infections or concealed rogue creations, I will unseal the door to the north so that you may pass." "Please allow me to pass through quarantine." The creature looks at you carefully. It makes a low, soft humming noise. You don't feel anything, but you suspect some sort of magical augmentation is allowing the creature to analyze you in minute detail. Eventually, the noise ceases. Tavit says, "I find no reason to impede your progress further. The exit door will open at your approach." "What happened to this island? Why was it barred?" "I am sorry, Shaper. I am limited in the scope of my knowledge. When I was left here, I was given no further information or instructions." "How long ago were you abandoned?" "I do not know. I have spent all of that time in hibernation. The decay in my internal organs indicates that the time was well over a century. I am sorry that I cannot be more precise." "How long has it been since someone came through here?" "You are the first since I was abandoned." "Why was Susia Island abandoned?" "I do not know. I know a little of its purpose, but nothing of why I was left here for so long." "What was the purpose of this island?" "Research." Not the most useful answer you could have hoped for. "I have another question." "I am eager to assist you further, Shaper. Do you wish to pass through quarantine?" That is what it asked before. This must have very limited programming. Are you alright? You have been here for a long time." "I am functioning properly. I can still do what I was made to do." You don't mind waiting here for so long? I am functioning properly. I can still do what I was made to do. I was not made to have other thoughts. I have another question. That's all I need from you. Thank you, Shaper. I will rest and conserve my energy. Well, that's a great life, great existence. Okay, that's nothing we can take with us. On this side of the quarantine hall, you can see another flock of orcs, watched over by a servile. Serviles are one of the greatest Shaper creations. They are the most common and valued servants of your people. Intelligent, hardy, obedient, and featuring hands with opposable thumbs, they are also easily controlled. If there are serviles here, this island must not be as savage as you feared. Serviles are weak and easily cowed creatures. If there were any real threat here, they would have been quickly wiped out. Your emergence from the hall is clearly the last thing this servile expected. He looks terrified at first, then curious. He leaves his flock behind to run and speak with you. He probably wants fresh orders. Okay. This servile boldly walks up to you. You inspect each other. It seems to be the same design of creation with which you're completely familiar. Same hunched posture, number of limbs, and so on. It looks very surprised to see you, however. It doesn't have the attitude to immediate obedience you have come to expect. It seems more curious than anything. After a few awkward seconds of staring, it speaks. I don't think I am mad. It's a Shaper. A Shaper has come at last. Oh, it has been years. Years since anyone has come through that door. A Shaper has come. This is so wonderful. Oh, but where are my manners? I am Timo. I am a shepherd. I graze my ongs here because nobody comes here. Oh, I must go to Vakiri. I must tell my people. A Shaper has come at last. Tell me about Vakiri. It is our humble village. He points east. It is that way, not far, not far. I should tell them a Shaper has come at last. Our home is humble and small, but with no Shapers around, we did what we could. I've been stranded on this island. How can I get off of it? He looks worried. He clearly has no idea. Oh, I'm humble, villager. I do not know how to leave. But in Vakiri, there are old and wise people. They can help you. That is odd. Timo is referring to his fellow civils as people. Creations are called creations, not people. Do you know why this island was abandoned? By the way, this is also some kind of topic, I think, in the later games, because you're not continuing playing like the hero Shaper. I think in some game you're overthrowing the Shaper's rebellion and so on. So, story continues. Do you know why this island was abandoned? I have no idea. You should go to Vakiri. There are many. They are wiser than me. I should go there now. They should know there is a Shaper among us. There are no other Shapers here? And Timo grows even more nervous. I do not know. You are the only one. You are the Shaper. You have returned and we can serve. He seemed somewhat reticent about saying that last word. If you need food or a safe place to rest. Though you may not be a Shaper, but a guardian or an agent, all three sects are generally referred to by the outside world as Shapers. Do you mind me hunting your ongs? That's right. You had better serve me or you will be disciplined harshly. I do not require your total obedience. I only need to leave this island. Timo looks incredibly relieved. Of course, we servants will be glad to help you in any way we can. It is our way. We thank you, mighty Shaper, for your kindness. Do you mind me hunting your ongs? Not at all, Shaper. We are yours to do with as you will. His worried expression, however, indicates that he actually feels otherwise about the issue. I'll be moving on then. Yes, Shaper. Timo steps out of your way, completely unsure what to do next. His entire world just changed in a moment. Very cool. Yeah, but we will not kill them. We are nice people. Now that you have crossed this zone, it has been cleared. You will be able to pass through it on the world map. If you want to review your notes or be reminded of your current quests, press the journal button. You will be able to review special items you have found, dialogue, and you have recorded codexes, and you have learned, and quests you have been given. Medal earned, have to learn fast. Yeah, and that's it for this first episode for Geneforge 1. This is the end of the tutorial. Now you can travel east to Valkyrie, start learning more about what has been happening on Susha Island, and hopefully begin to find your way off it. And with that, we are at the end of this Let's Play episode of the first one of Geneforge 1 Mutagen. As mentioned, the game will be released at the 24th of February. I will try to put video of this Let's Play series up for every Thursday and every Tuesday, or every Tuesday, every Thursday. And I would welcome it if you subscribe to the channel. I would also welcome it if you give it a thumbs up if you like the video. And if you have any comments about the game, Spiderweb, my playstyle, whatever, feel free to comment in the comment section. And with that, I say goodbye for now, and until next time.